like afterwards trying to be in class or anything like that. I wonder if that performance ruined his childhood and to this day.
I mean, he could have been picked on.
Oh, no, you would not pick on that kid if you thought he did what he did. No, you would not pick on him. You would be feared by him, and you would be isolated.
They might be making him prove it.
No, I don't think so.
Well, a good question is what happened to him, because I think the last we ever saw of that kid was in Omen Part 2, right, when he was a young teenager, 12 years old, 13 years old. I'm wondering if maybe the Catholic Church took him a little bit too seriously, and maybe he's in the bowels of some dungeon right now being exorcised.
He could be. He's locked up right next to the alien that they found.
Yeah, Nurse Misery. Let's find out what happened to Damien.
Working on it.
Yeah, the second one the remake was basically the first one, just with special effects. There was no need for it.
None whatsoever.
The only cool thing I remember about the remake coming out was it came out on 6/66, and I remember Nurse Misery and I walking through a cluster of nuns telling us we were going to go to hell for watching this movie.
Still?
And I turned to them and said, "Too late, I've already been there, hell 2.0." And she just gave me a dirty look.
Now my only question would be if those nuns were actually shills.
I don't know.
I really have a hard time believing that the Catholic Church is that fanatical and rabid about a horror movie at this late date.
Yeah, they probably didn't give a crap.
No, I think they were plants. I really do. Kind of like a wrestling angle.
You think so? To give the movie more promotion?
Absolutely. Kind of like back in the 1950s with the old directors, they used to have a nurse in the lobby in case anybody died of a heart attack during the movie, that type of thing. Nuns outside the Omen. Yeah, in the 21st century, yeah.
That was unneeded. They just took the remake and put special effects in it, and you didn't need those.
No,
the first one was just as good.
Yeah, now if it was a movie like, let me think now, like Last Temptation of Christ or something like that, what I'm saying, then they turn out for real. And even then, I don't know what the point is, because every time the Catholic Church protests a movie,
we go watch it even more.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster every single time. So yeah, but no, I'll go with those nuns being plants. That's my thought on the subject.
So I was in a horror comedy called None of That, where I played a 7-foot nun.
Okay.
And the Catholic Church didn't actually come out and protest. They did, however, send a nasty letter in the mail regarding None of That.
Really?
So they're still looking at stuff like that. But yeah, I think the days of them actually going out in force, I don't even think that they have the finances to do that anymore.
Well, they have the finances, but it's all locked up in the Vatican. Okay, Nurse Misery, you have the requisite information. Damien, a.k.a. Harvey Spencer Stevens.
He's the very first one.
Right. English actor who portrayed the role of young Damien Thorne in The Omen. Okay, does it get basically to what happened to him later on?
Nothing really. This was his major role. He did have a small part in a TV film in 1980. And then he had a small cameo in the 2006 version of The Omen.
Right, and that's pretty much it.
That's kind of it. He's married. It doesn't say anything about children. He was interviewed.
Of course not. He sacrificed his children.
He was interviewed for a documentary. Yeah, thank
Big
you.
word. Sorry about that.
Blah. I need a nap. For The Curse of the Omen, and he's been on the Howard Stern Show and Sirius Radio in 2008. That's really
so we probably could get him on the Haunted Cabaret as a guest.
Well, Damien, if you're listening, we have a gig for you right here on Rhode Island Free Radio.
It says that he's appeared for autograph signings and horror conventions with, in quotes, my tricycle.
Uh-huh. Well, my question would be if this is still the same person. How do we know? Now, kids grow up. They don't look like they did when they were 6. Yeah. How do we know that this Harvey person is actually the Damien that we saw in The Omen?
Yeah, we can't get DNA evidence.
Well, and I've often asked that question at conventions, especially some of the more obscure people. Any one of us could sit set up a table, put up a picture, and say, I am such and such, and start collecting money.
I mean, there's 5 Damians. So.
Right. Well, but Tony Jones has a point here.
I mean,
that could happen a lot.
There's not even a picture
I mean,
of this guy
the
Harvey.
Chewbacca that I saw at Comic-Con that year, he had hardly any hair at all.
Peter.
On that note, let's go back to the music. Let's listen to a little Motorhead. How about Ace of Spades here on the Haunted Cabaret on Rhode Island Free Radio?
If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, and do the same to me. The pleasure is to blame. Make no difference what you say. I don't shave green. The only card I need is the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Playing for the high wall, dancing with the devil, going with the flow. It's all a game to me. 7 or 11, snake eyes watching you. Double up a crit, doubles take a split. The ace of spades, the ace of spades. You know I'm going to lose, and gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. And don't forget the Joker. Pushing up the ante, I know you got to see me. Read up and weep, the dead man's hands again. I see it in your eyes, take one look and die. The only thing you see, you know it's gonna be the ace of spades, the ace of spades.
All right, that was Motorhead, Ace of Spades here on the Haunted Cabaret. We are discussing all things evil children, and obviously the standard bearer of evil children, Damien from The Omen. And like what I noticed here on Nurse Misery's tablet is that the original Damien, who I am halfway convinced is the real thing, was only in that one movie.
Pretty much.
We never saw him after that.
Yeah, just
I mean,
bits and pieces of him.
Yeah, why couldn't that
throughout.
have been his introduction to the world? I firmly suspect that he's either captured by the Catholic Church and being held in some deep, dark catacomb of the Vatican, or that he's going about his father's business.
Hey.
You know, marshaling the Illuminati, marshaling the reptilians, the Satanic Temple. I mean, he was probably behind that statue of Baphomet, the goat, that's perched on the steps along with the 10 Commandments.
Well, he was born in 1970, so he's still out there and about and young enough
Of course
to
he's
cause
out there
some
and about.
problems.
He's,
So?
well, cause problems. You just wait and see the problems he causes. But now, like I said, you know,
Yeah, he's causing a lot of problems. First, he burnt the fries. Then he then he messed up the coffee.
Did he forget to salt the meat?
which is a great segue to another subject. By the way, just because I wrote notes on a page doesn't mean I'm following them in any kind of chronological order. Tony Jones just gave me a great segue over to the remake of Village of the Damned, which if anyone remembers, the original Village of the Damned was one of those British 1960s black and white movies about all the women in a small town who become pregnant on the same day.
That's freaky.
Very freaky. Through no known partners.
Well then.
There you go. Nurse Misery, watch out. And then, naturally, when the children are born 9 months later, they all have blonde hair, glowing eyes, and they have psychic powers that cause them to do things like put their mother's hands in boiling water when the formula is too warm, and set
I don't
people
wanna
on
have one of
fire.
those.
No, you don't, and neither did the
Nope.
people in that town.
I remember that movie fondly and wanting to kick those kids in the head every time they did what they were doing. Especially in school, where if the teacher wasn't doing something their way, the kid would be freaking pretty much hypnotizing them into doing something horrible to himself. You just wanted to boot those little bastards.
Yeah, with the self-satisfied smiles they had in their faces at all times.
I don't even remember this movie.
Oh, this is
I remember
basically
it sounds similar like Children of the Corn.
Children
little
of the Corn
evil
ripped that
children,
off.
But
Yeah, these kids are way more evil than those Children of the Corn bastards.
yeah, when I Googled it, I guess there was a remake in '95.
Yeah, and the remake is what came to mind first. Not because it's a better movie. It's nowhere near a better movie. But it does contain the actors Mark Hamill, Kirstie Alley,
Good.
and
Horror movie.
Christopher Reeve.
Oh my!
Basically, the remake of Village of the Damned contains every single actor who was typecast out of a productive career in Hollywood, all in the same movie. So I don't know. And it's a John Carpenter film. He must have done this deliberately. He really must have.
Now seeing the movie poster, I remember the 1995 version, but I don't think I've seen the 1960s version.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's got a few good scenes in it. The children make Kirstie Alley operate on herself with a scalpel,
Yep.
and but yeah, I couldn't get over the fact that Mark Hamill in a movie other than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley somewhere other than Cheers, and Christopher Reeve without his cape. I mean, the three most typecast. Well, I don't know about Chris, but two of the most typecast actors in the history of cinema, all in one movie. It had to be deliberate. It really had to.
Wasn't that one of Christopher Reeve's last big hurrahs before the untimely demise?
I would argue with calling it a big hurrah.
Well,
But yes,
Yeah.
you're correct. But yes, you're correct about it being one of his last movies. Yes.
yeah, because not too shortly after that, he met his demise. So
Yeah, which is kind of, and I always thought that was ironic to the nth degree, right? He plays Superman and becomes paralyzed.
Yeah.
and then children from a damn village kill him. It happened.
Well,
I don't think it was a story. I think they really killed him.
Now that's possible.
Yeah.
Now I've always given Lex Luthor the credit for paralyzing him outside the movies. But you think?
Could
Yeah.
be the evil children.
I think it was the evil children that maybe Damien was heading. And we all thought it was a movie.
Let's not combine our evil children here too closely.
No, 'cause
Why not?
Well,
It's fun.
Damien, we have the demonic son of Satan.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Village of the Damned, or the children of the damned, were alien induced.
And that was made 10 years before Damien was born.
Well, so
So,
the remake.
Well, yeah, the remake was after Damien.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Chuckles is right. Even Damien, at his best, didn't have that smirk on his face.
Oh, the little blue eyes and the you just want to punt those little bastards halfway across the screen.
We have gotten, I haven't seen this intense emotion in Chuckles the Clown in a long time.
You know, I have no problems with kids. I deal with them all the time. But if any kids come at me looking like that,
Well, you only have a problem with these kids because you can't deal with these kids the way you deal with all the other kids.
yeah, I can't scare them.
You
No.
can't scare them. You can't hurt them. I mean, what
No.
else?
They're going to psychologically make me appear on some cable access show and rip my guts out, and it'll be something that no one watches. Like, you know,
When the remake came out, I was young enough, I would have been like, hey, I want to be your friend. I have blonde hair and blue eyes.
and I
Don't
would've-
kill me.
And I would have punted you in the head too.
No, but I'll tell you that I'll go along with that. They were the most hateful group of little tots ever. I think in real life too. Really, there's a few people that if I did see them, walking down the street in real life, I just punch them right in the face. One of them is, and I guess in a way it's a compliment to the actors involved.